Justin, that looks super, super complex.
His glutes look fantastic from here.
You want to talk about a
always doing some clever stuff, dude.
You want to talk about a multi-planar exercise,
right?
I mean, you're facing one way, you're coming up, you're rotating,
squatting,
your arms,
I'm
your legs.
picking it up, I'm transitioning, I'm moving my hips, throwing it up with my shoulder. So, yeah, it's pretty much the complete package.
Well, talk about getting the entire body to communicate.
I'm a little bit winded just from like 3 reps.
So let's walk the audience through. How would we start this, and what does it look like?
So, how I would approach it first is
so you're on the landmine,
yeah,
right? Landmine, bar plugged in.
Depending on how big your setup is with the weights, typically I'll stand right beside it with 1 foot kind of outside, 1 foot inside. Hopefully there's enough room with the bar where I can take my grip here. Now I'm gonna go supinated, I'm gonna go pronated. So I'm gonna go underhand, overhand.
So the outside hand, the one that's furthest away from the hand.
Rotate over as you press.
Yeah, that's the supinated hand, that's the palm up hand.
So my goal then is to pull into my body. I wanna make sure everything's really close to my midline of my body. Keep everything in. So that way when I'm coming up.
So stop right there. Tight position.
Yeah, right. So Doug can see him sweep around right here. See his starting.
So I'm extended with my arms all the way. I'm looking straight ahead. I'm dropping my hips down. So that way I'm picking it up and I'm not leaning over it, right? So I'm starting in a squatted stance. I'm picking it up into my body here. I'm gonna transition by turning, especially my outside foot and pivoting forward. So now I'm facing this direction. And as I'm doing that, I'm extending my arm.
And then you press.
Into a press. So I'll go a little bit faster.
So that's the slow version, but this exercise is meant to be done a little quicker, right?
Yeah, it's meant to have a fluidity to it. It's meant to move. You're supposed to move your body well with this exercise, right? So I'm coming up.
Oh yeah, there you go.
And into a press. So it's all about that transfer and that exchange between coming up out of a squat, rotating. It's all about that rotational movement with the press. So I'm adding that power in there at the end.
Now, if you've never done this before, probably a good idea to start without any weight.
Right.
Just practice the form.
Oh, the bar
like
alone,
just
right?
the bar. Just practice the technique.
There's so much going on with the mechanics as far as the rotation in his hips, his knee that's going on like that, is the rotation of the shoulder. There's so much here that mechanically is going on. I mean, I would definitely put this, we've done like a whole series around the landmines. This would probably be one of the most advanced.
Probably the pinnacle of
right, as far as,
this,
yeah. I mean, I look at that and I'm like, I know that that's not a movement I practice a lot. I don't practice in those planes a lot. I know for sure that even with my experience in mechanics, it would take me a little bit of time before I really feel comfortable with doing that movement.
Obviously, for an athlete, you would put this in a sports-specific type programming, type training. Now, let's say you're more of an aesthetic guy, right? You compete in physique. Adam, where would you do this? Would you do this at the beginning of a workout to get everything to fire?
What I would do is if I was doing this, like getting ready for a show, because this would kind of fall into like a phase 3 type of like higher intensity and a lot of calorie burn from this. So I would actually implement like very much so core involved. I'm not gonna go very heavy, so you're not gonna get sore in your legs. I'm not gonna go very heavy, so my shoulders may not get really burned out, but your core and calories are gonna go up because you're incorporating your entire body. So this would be a great like finisher type of movement at the end of a workout to just like ramp up that calorie expenditure. Or if I wanted to start my workout off where I'm already in that fat burning zone where I want to kick up that, I would do that right at the beginning and burn a bunch and already be burning for the rest of my workout. So you know, a lot of things you could do to play this, even if you're not somebody who is training for sport specific. It's a very demanding movement that, I mean, if my goal is to burn a ton of calories, you're gonna get that from this for sure.
I can see the benefit of this priming the body for a hard workout. So doing it in the beginning, like Adam was saying. And at the end, here's something that people don't consider. Doing these full body complex movements at the end of your workout without a lot of weight, but perfecting the form, actually cements what you did in that previous workout. So what you did during that entire workout, now I'm getting everything and integrating it.
You're amplifying that recruitment pattern.
Well, and this is like talking about, you know, when you ask me about with competitors or athletes or that type of mentality, like this is why I'm Mr. No Cardio all the time. I talk so much trash about it because, like, okay, let's say you finished your bodybuilder workout and you've got 10 to 15 more minutes where you would normally go over the treadmill like they all do and walk on the treadmill or go elliptical. Well, shit, you want something even better, come over here and do this. Perfect a movement where your entire body's speaking, and you're gonna burn just as many calories and fat as you would if you were walking on the treadmill, and something that's gonna benefit you a lot more.
Excellent.
So there's a great place to put that also, even if you're not somebody who's very...
And then an easy one, right, is phase 3 of MAPS Green, MAPS Performance, where we're working on speed, power, right? So the focus is acceleration. And so I want to be able to control my body and accelerate it through the transverse plane of movement. So this whole series with the Landmine, I'm really trying to use it for its best intention, which is to really expose that transverse planal movement. That's hard. It's hard to get that because most everything is fixed for the sagittal plane.
Oh,
Right.
100%. That's, I would say, the one big thing as adults that we lose, right? As a child, it's very normal. You're playing around on playgrounds, you're jumping and swinging all over the place, you're running on the fields, you're playing soccer, you're basketball, football. You start getting in your 30s, and we just lose that plane completely. We just never have that, especially explosively.
Yeah, everything we do is right
You may
here.
move to get over to pick up a shampoo bottle, but you ain't doing it explosively and very controlled. You're just doing it lazy, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, you
we
can pick
lose that.
something up, put it up on a shelf. I mean, this is something you might see in real life.
Very
Pretty easily.
functional movement
Yeah.
that we tend to lose as adults, and I mean, I think it's definitely should be somewhere in everybody's routine at one point in your routine.